You're now watching Lena Blue TV.
Introducing the most talented, unique, most passionate DJ Dyzell, aka Dyzell. How you doing?
That's a very loaded question, but I'm okay. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm not good. I'm not fine. I mean, a lot of things involved in that, but I'm cool.
Okay.
I'm cool. Can't complain.
So before we get into your journey, tell me about Birthday Ding-a-ling. How did that come about?
Okay, so I used to work at this place called Coos. I mean, I still work there. I work there part-time. But when I was working there full-time, before I really got to do music full-time, a co-worker of mine, his friend girl was having a birthday. And he had on speakerphone, and we was like, "What you want for your birthday?" And she was like, "You really want me to be honest?" Everybody like, "Yeah." She was like, "I want some ding-a-ling." So we just was like, "You want some birthday ding-a-ling?" So my partner Otis, he was like, "Who want birthday ding-a-ling?" And then we was like, "I'm gonna give you that birthday ding-a-ling." And it was a whole joke at first, but then when we came back to work the next day, people was like, "Y'all recorded the song?" We was like, "Man, nobody not finna record that." They was like, "No, y'all need to record that." So what I did was I pitched the idea to Uncle Luke. Shout out to the OG. He said he liked it, but you know, he really wasn't into doing any new music at the time. So I let it sit. I made the beat for it about 3-4 years ago and just let it sit. So one day I was in the studio with Chancellor Trump and JTM, and I'm going through beats, and I came across that beat, and Josh started singing the hook to it. And Chancellor was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "That's a joke. Don't pay that no attention." He said, "No, we need to record that." And I'm like, okay. So we started writing our verses. We recorded the hook, the male part. We got Plush Fibonacci to come in and do the female part, and then the rest is history. So that's how that song came about. It was really a joke that actually turned into a record that people actually really like.
Right. It's interesting how that works.
It really is. I mean, we knew it would be catchy. It was a joke, but then when we actually cut the record and put it out, the response was like, "Wow, people really messing with this. Okay, cool. Let's see where this takes us."
So like real quick, how do you plan to promote that? I know you DJ. Like, are you going to be playing it at different parties, or how does that work?
Well, we sent it into this radio show that they review your music. It's called Hit Factory Radio 954. Shout out Speaker Box and Serato Kid. We sent the record in to see what they thought about it, and they was like, it could be it's a big birthday anthem. So they was like, this really doesn't have a season because people having birthdays every day. So how I planned on promoting it was, because it kind of gave me that 90s feel. I was going to shoot a video that was 90s based, you know, the Super Soakers, pool party type situation. That's what we're planning on doing. I think we're going to do it in the next 2 weeks because Chicken Backwoods is getting ready to have a pool party. We'll talk about that later. But that's how we want to promote it. We're just going to just put it out, shoot a video for it, go viral, have a couple girls do some dance challenges. People fucking with the record, like heavy. Like, I'm getting a lot of positive responses, especially from the females. So
yeah, it sounds like everything just kind of flows together. So you attended Miami-Dade College, originally for criminal justice, but soon after you changed your major to music business. First I want to ask, why criminal justice?
Well, my father was a correction officer for 30 years. He retired, and I always thought that career path was successful. He was able to take care of us and provide a decent lifestyle for me and my family. So I was like, okay, I go into criminal justice. Since my father was always in the field, I took the FBAT, passed it, everything. I was gonna be a correction officer at one point in time, but then, you know, my path led me away from that. And the reason why I chose music business was Mr. Rointstein, who was my music business teacher. I saw him on the campus because I was in the music part of Miami-Dade, and he was like, "Didn't you come on the tour and you were supposed to be in the music program?" I was like, "Yeah, but I kind of changed my major to criminal justice." He was like, he said, "Why, man?" Like, he said, "You're a musician." He said, "Look, give me a semester. If you don't like it, then..." So I changed it to music, and I just never turned back. I didn't end up graduating from Miami-Dade, but I did. I was there for a minute, enough to take in. I took like 3 music business classes, 2 MIDI classes. I took a lot of music classes. You know how college is. You go register for classes, drop those because you don't want to take those, take the ones I was manipulating the system to my own liking, but I ended up not being able to afford to go to Dade anymore. It had to eventually leave, but I learned a lot while I was in their music business program. Shout out to Mr. Roystein. I still talk to him to this day. He's an advisor that I call and talk to a lot about just the business and things like that. So
that's beautiful. So you've learned a lot. What would you say is one of the biggest things that you've learned that stuck with you?
As far as in college or just in general in the music
college,
industry?
from that college.
Oh, from Miami-Dade is where I got my music business knowledge. He gave us this book called Everything You Need to Know About the Music Business. I think it was Form 25. I think they up to 32 forms now because the music business changes so much. But I learned the business aspect about publishing, copyrights, just protecting yourself business-wise. So that's what I learned that day that really set me apart from most people in the industry at the age I was, because most young kids don't know about publishing and royalties and rights and BMI and ASCAP. People don't know about that stuff when they first get into the industry, because people that you're dealing with don't want you to know, because they want to put their stuff up under them so they can get paid off of you. So that's one of the things I focus on whenever I'm dealing with an artist or an entertainer or anybody. I want to make sure that their business is done correctly. Like, you can't even do business with me if you don't have a BMI or an ASCAP or a CSAC. I won't even work with you until you get that taken care of. Because I'm looking like, if I'm going to put my time into you, my work into you, and we ain't going to get paid for it at the end of the day, well, what are we doing? Like,
and it seems like that really resonates with you because you've been through that.
Yes.
You were in a group.
Yes.
Dynasty.
Ooh, you did your research. It was called the LHE Dynasty. Shouts out to them boys. It was 5 of us, fresh out of high school. Marcus Gillum, Verdell, I'm saying y'all government names, Verdell Randolph, Dante Hatcher, Daryl Cox, and me, Daniel Taylor, who don't know my real name. But we was all in a rap group called the Dynasty, and we did it for like almost 6 years, if I'm not mistaken. But things happen. People's passions are not always what they end up doing, because everybody can't take that 16-year journey to finally get somewhere in something. And people have families, things happen, so
So 16 years you've been in. 16
years, yes. In August, it'll be 17 years next month. I've been doing music professionally. And I've been a musician since I was 6. I played drums in church since I was 6. So, but doing music professionally in the industry, a registered artist, I've been with BMI since I was 18 years old. So
I kind of want to get into that, because like, we can get into the music industry and just not know anything about it. So some things happen to you in the group that you didn't expect that to happen. So what is something that an artist can do to kind of just avoid those things? Is there anything that they can do? Or?
To be truthfully honest with you, no. The music industry works like this. People are not going to help you from ground zero. They want to see that you're actually building something, that you're actually trying to get somewhere before they even come to attempt to help you. You ever hear the phrase, the game is sold, not told? Yeah. That's like a staple in music. Like, I'm different. Like, if an artist wants to know something, I will gladly become an open book to them and tell them all the information that I know. Why is that? Because I don't want what happened to me happening to them. I don't want for it to take you 16 years to do something when I can show you what I know, and it could take you 2-3 years.
What good does that do you?
It doesn't do me any good. I just feel better about myself at the end of the day, because I don't want nobody to feel like how I felt. Like, doing music for this long period of time and going from situation to situation, being in a group, then being in a duo, then just being a DJ and a producer, then going back to being in a group again, it's a lot, because it's a journey, and I don't want nobody to have to go through what I went through, being lied to, being taken advantage of, not just people just saying, oh yeah, I'm going to invest in you, I'm going to do this. You do the work, you present the product, and they're nowhere to be found. Nothing happens. Like, I don't want people to get discouraged in their journey. When I wish Spotify was out when I first started. I wish social media was popping when I first started. They have all these tools that they can use now. So I don't want them to be led astray where you got this record that's popping and you ain't get no money for it because you ain't got BMI or you ain't got ASCAP or you haven't done your paperwork right to be getting paid for the streams that you are getting. I don't want that to happen to nobody. And it's not, I don't get nothing out of it. I just feel like it's my duty because I went through it. I can show you so you don't have to. That's just me. That's just my personality.
I don't think it's too many people like you. But going back to the creative side, how are you using social media to further yourself and even your team? You have a team.
Social media is an interesting tool. I mean, the way I just use it for promotional purposes. I get content, post it, you watch it, you like it, you like it. I personally don't base everything I do off of social media because I've been doing it for so long. So majority of my work comes from word of mouth. I just use my social media as my catalog. Like, you want to see what I did? Just go scrolling. You can see my journey from beginning to end. Like, I think I joined Instagram the day it was created. I think I got an Instagram account, or maybe the week. So you can go all the way down to the bottom, see where I started at, and see where I am now. That's what I use Instagram and social media for. I'm not really on it as much as I should be, but I know how powerful it can be. I've gotten plenty of work off social media, but it's not my primary thing because, like I said, I've been doing this so long, so I usually get phone calls. Hey, such and such told me to call you about this. Can you do this? Or such and such told me to call you about that. So I don't really use it like that, but I do use it. Like if I got a music video finna come out or I got a new song finna be released, I post it on my story, I post it on Instagram, but I don't be on social media like that. I mean, I'm on there to keep up with what's going on, but I don't really use it like that because I don't have to. Like the younger generation, you know, they on their phone 365 days a year, all day. I don't have to do that. I can be, but I don't.
Okay. I wanted to get into this class that you took, this etiquette class. Tell me about that.
Which one are you talking about? I took 2 etiquette classes.
For your voice.
So when I was, how old was I? I want to say 15. Yeah. I went to this summer camp called the Police Athletic League because my dad was in law enforcement. So you really not, law enforcement children really aren't supposed to go, but not important. They had this business class and it taught you about business etiquette, how to carry yourself, how to speak, how to do all these things so that people can understand you, so that you can get your point across. Like my actual speaking voice is very much more lower than this. I've just trained myself to speak in this tone because I was told that people can understand you more, you can enunciate your words more. So I went to this class and it was like a life-changing class. It was about entrepreneurship, and you had to make a business plan and say what you wanted your business to do. And at the end of the year, we presented our businesses, and the person who had the best business put together won. Of course, my team didn't win. It was a young lady named Shanice's Portraits. She cheated. I'm gonna tell you how. Shanice was painting amazing portraits at like 15. I was like, man, of course we're not gonna be her. Her business plan was flawless, and she even used me in her presentation because I had came to the banquet. I thought it was a real banquet. I had been dressed up and everything. It was like me and a couple of other cats. So she used us to present her portraits in her presentation, and she blew everybody away. She won. But the class was life changing because I kind of looked at life way differently after that. Like everything, you have to carry yourself a certain way and do things a certain way and all of that. So that was the business etiquette class that I took. And then in music business, we took a studio etiquette class when I was at SAE. And it basically wasn't even geared towards anything, how can I say this? Anything music based. It was geared towards how you deal with your client, how you deal with the client. When they come in, read their mood, ask them if they need this, ask them if they need this. Like, that was a real class we took, and we in there like, yo, we ain't gonna never use none of this. And I'll be damned, I've used that class and how to deal with people and how almost every day that I'm in the studio, because you don't know who's walking in your lab to cook with you. You don't know who's gonna come in, how they gonna feel, what mood they gonna be in. And it was like, as the engineer or the producer or whomever you are, it's your job to keep the vibe. That's the key to it. It was like, you got to keep the vibe. So yeah. Those are the 2 classes that I took as far as etiquette goes.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And I think it helps if you have a heart for it. You know, if you got it, you got it kind of like the gift of gab. That's the way that I'm thinking about it. Tell me about your musical experience overall.
Overall, music saved my life. It changed my life. Music is my best friend. Music is everything to me because in so many different stages in my life, music has been a part of every stage. Like, so my overall music experience has been, if I can lack of a better word, life-changing. If it wasn't for this gift or this craft, I don't really know what I would be doing. It's just my passion. It's what I love to do. Like, I could have easily, like I told you earlier, been a correction officer or something, but I would always find myself tapping on something. I always find myself thinking about a melody or a beat or something like that. So music is really, really much it's my everything. So my experience overall has been life-changing. It's taken me places I never thought I'd go. It's helped me meet people I never thought I'd meet. I mean, it's helped me through a lot of situations that I've encountered in my life. So if I could lack of a better word, this has been life-changing. It's my everything. If I woke up tomorrow and I couldn't create music no more, I'd ask God, like, yo, really? This is what we're doing? I'll figure it out, but I'm gonna be one depressed, sad puppy.
So I want to talk about that. Is it important to do what you want to do, or even what you feel, in your heart?
For me, yes. I can't speak on anyone else, but for me, I've always been I'm gonna do what I want to do type of person. My daddy will tell you, even from the time I was younger, like, I wasn't like everybody else. I tried to blend in. I tried to be like everybody else, but I wasn't. From the day I was born, like he said, when I came out, I don't know if you know when the baby comes out, you on your back. I was turning over, coming out when I came out, like, and the doctor was like, well, dang, he just got here. He trying to turn over. So my dad knew from then I would be different, and I'm just the type of person, like, I want to do what I want to do. Like, I've always been like that. I've gotten in trouble for it. I'm gonna ask the questions people don't want to ask. I'm going to challenge. I'm not gonna just believe what you tell me. I'm gonna challenge you. I think that's why I've made it so far in the industry, because if someone tells me something, I'm gonna go do my research on it. I'm gonna be like, I hear you. I'm gonna go look that up, see what that's really about. So I have to. I can't succumb to other people's expectations or what other people want from me. I just can't do it. When I tried it, I didn't feel right. When I tried to do whatever my parents instructed me to do, well, you should do this, you should go here. I said, okay, I'll try that. Nah, it didn't work. I go by my own beat. I got my own way of doing things, and that's just how I am. I can't go against how I'm just wired that way, so.
Okay. So you're multi-talented.
That's what they say.
I just learned not too long ago that you are a beast at the drum set.
You pushing it with beast. I'm okay. It's dudes out there that are eons better than me. That's what I'm gonna say about, like, that's my most how can I say this? I'm a little insecure about my drumming.
Okay.
That's about anything else I could go with the best on, but drums, I'd be like, eh. But everybody that hear me play seems to think otherwise, so I'm gonna keep letting y'all feel that way. I am an okay drummer. I'm not a beast. I'm not none of that, in my opinion. Now, if you ever heard me play, you might feel differently. I don't feel that way, because I never got to practice like most people. So
you're a beast at the drum set. You also produce, not just create wonderful instrumentals, but actually produce, guiding artists through their experience.
Correct.
You even direct visuals.
Yes.
I know it doesn't stop there. Could you just brag a little bit?
Okay. Yeah, I shoot music videos. I direct. I do music business consulting. I do artist management. I do business proposals. Like, anything pretty. It's anything in the entertainment industry. I do live. I'm a live sound engineer. I do staging. I do lighting. I can edit a little bit. I can't leave that to y'all. I don't really like editing like that. That's no. But anything pretty much in the entertainment industry that I put my hands on, I pretty much can do it. And if I can't do it, I can learn how to do it. So, yeah, I made it my business to learn everything, because I got tired of people charging me and not giving me the product that I wanted. So I was like, okay, if I'm gonna pay somebody and I'm still not gonna get what I want, I might as well learn to do it myself. And that's been my attitude throughout my whole journey when it came to engineering, mixing, mastering, producing, rapping, songwriting, music videos, all that. I learned the ins and outs so nobody can ever pull the wool over my eyes. If I'm gonna pay for something, I want to know that I'm paying for quality, and I want to know what I expect for whatever it is that I'm paying. And that's just how I've always been. I've always been like that.
Wow. So, what genres of music do you produce?
Hip hop, R&B, pop, gospel. I've done one country song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
What is that song?
It was for a project. What is this called? I can't remember exactly what the project was, but it was this book that we had to read, and it had these principles of being a compassionate samurai. That's what the name of the book was, The Compassionate Samurai. And me and my business partner Otis, we wrote a country song. It was interesting. It was years ago, but just mostly hip hop, R&B, rap, pop, dancehall, reggae, Afro beats. I can produce it all pretty much. Whatever you come to, whatever you need, we can make it happen. If I don't know how to do it, I'll learn how to do it. Wow. EDM is something I haven't really played with. EDM producers, they different. Their brains are something out of this world. I love EDM music, but producing it, I haven't mastered that yet. I don't even think I want to be honest with you. I'm gonna leave that for them. Ricky, I'm gonna leave that for you. He know who I'm talking to.
What songs or albums have you produced or worked on that people probably don't know about?
Well, I don't exactly know. I'm gonna tell you why. When it comes to producing records and getting your songs placed, a lot of the time I did a lot of work for hire stuff. So if it made an album, I don't know. If it didn't, I don't know.
When you say hire stuff, what does that mean?
So I used to work at Strong Arm, man. They had a room where all the producers would come in and we would make beats, and then they would take your tracks, whatever, and they give you a work for hire agreement, which means that you're not getting no publishing, you're not getting none of that. We're gonna take your beat, we're gonna pay you for it, and that's it. Like you are of no concern what happens to this beat afterwards. So when it comes to major projects, I did more work for hire stuff than anything. A lot of the major artists that are out right now, I've sent placements to their management and anything, but nothing has been placed to my knowledge. Still waiting for that phone call to be like, oh yeah, man, your beat got placed with such and such and such and such. So I haven't worked with anybody big and got anything placed, but I've worked with Uncle Luke, I've worked with Trick Daddy, I've worked with Trina, I've worked pretty much anybody in Miami. I've worked with, who else have I worked with? I've worked with Briscoe, I've worked with, I'm trying to think. I didn't work with Trey Songz directly, but I wrote with one, engineered a couple sessions for a guy who was writing for him. I worked with Tory Lanez, Free Tory. I think that's, I've worked with YMCMB. I worked with, is that everybody?
Who would you like to work with?
Oh man,
And why?
Majority of people I like to work with, they dead. One being Michael Jackson, of course. I wanted to work with Prince. But if we talking about people that's still here, I still want to work with Timbaland, the GOAT, even though he was quite discourteous to me the last beat that he heard of mine, but it's a story for another day. I want to work with Timbaland. I want to work with T-Pain.
Yeah.
If I can't work with nobody else, I want to work with Pain. Slick, when are you going to help me work with Pain? You on tour with him right now. I need to work with T-Pain. But
why? Tell me why T-Pain.
T-Pain is my favorite artist. Out of, when he came out, I was in 12th grade, I'll never forget. And I was like, when I heard I'm Sprung, because that was the first song I heard from him, I was like, this dude is different. So I started following him, and T-Pain is a musical genius. Like, people listen to the auto-tune. That's not what I listen to. I listen to his harmonies, his backgrounds, how he do things. For him to be a producer, he engineers his own stuff. T-Pain is the GOAT, and he'll always be the GOAT to me. And in the T-Pain album I ain't listened to, and the T-Pain song I don't know, he is my favorite artist. I want to work with him. If I could just work with him one time, I'm good. Who else do I want to work with? I would love to work with J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. I work with Future. I engineered the session for Future. Huh. Yeah, Future's amazing, man.
Yeah. Well,
like the way he puts his stuff together. Like he puts a bunch of beats in the session and he just goes, and then sends it off to his engineers and producers, and they send back whole songs. I had never seen nothing like that in my life. I would definitely like to work with Lil Wayne before he retires. I would like to work with Jay-Z. I think I'm actually into working with Jay-Z. I got a feeling that's gonna happen. I want to work with the baby. Everybody want Lil Baby, and I want to work with the baby. I love how he do things. I love how his voice sits on beats. Kanye said this in the interview. He was like, the baby uses his voice more like an instrument than a voice. I love the baby. I would love to work with Megan Thee Stallion because I feel like I could, the way my beats are, I could bring out something in her that I don't think anybody has brought out.
I got a question real quick. Why Prince and Michael Jackson? Like, what is it about them that makes
So, Michael Jackson is arguably one of the greatest artists of all time, in my opinion. His music and just the way he did things sonically always stood out to me. That's why I want to work with Michael. Prince is a virtuoso musician. I've seen Prince perform live twice. When he performed at the Super Bowl, I was in that halftime show. Northwestern's payback program got picked to be in the crowd. So I've seen Prince play live twice, back to back. Once in the rain, and when we did rehearsal. And when we did rehearsal, I was starstruck. And I didn't think that, of course I've seen Prince and heard about him, but to see him live is a next level experience. Like, I didn't ever get to see Michael live, but I saw Prince live. I said, I want to work with him. His aura is angelic. I can't explain it. And what he does musically, all the instruments he plays, all the songs he writes. Prince is a real musician. Like he said, his microphone be on. You feel what I'm saying? And then who doesn't want to work with Michael Jackson? Like, he's the voice of my generation, to be honest. Like, I like to work with Chris Brown as well. Chris Breezy. I think I'm pretty close with being able to work with him too. Like, it's a lot of artists I want. I'm not against working with no artist. Cause I feel like if I get in the studio with them, just me with my skill set, I can't speak for nobody else. I know I'm gonna get a hit. I know I'm gonna get a record that somebody gonna wanna do something with. So I'm not against working with anybody. Migos, Cardi B, I mean, name them. Nicki, Drake. Like, it's whoever wants to work, y'all find me. I'm ready.
So you actually have a team. People like Chancellor Trump, Josh The Man, Fresh Start, Jay Nice, Kri8ed Media Group, shout out G. How did you even get this team together, and what does this team mean to you?
So, out of all those names you just named, the person I've been working with the longest is Jay Nice. But people don't know him as Jay Nice. Otis Flowers, OT, whatever you want to call him. I met him when I graduated high school. Well, actually, I met him before I graduated, but one day we was at the church, because we both went to the same church. He was like, you was in marching band, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, I want to show you something. So we went in his office, and he had this old-ass PC on his table with this bootleg microphone and this little mixing board. And I'm like, what is this? He said, oh, it's my little studio. And I'm like, this nigga bought some stuff off of Amazon talking about this studio. But then Otis started playing me his music, and I was like, you recorded that in here? He was like, yeah, man, you know. So me, I'm like this. Once my interest in something is peaked, I'm finna go overboard with it. I'm finna go crazy. I'm finna go do all the research. I'm finna go do all of that. So, and Otis will tell you, he showed me how to, work the programs or whatever. And so I was sitting on the computer making something. He said, what you doing? I was like, making the beat. He was like, yeah, you gotta go make your own on your own computer. Like, this my stuff. You gotta go get your own stuff. I was like, so I can't. He said, nah, you gotta go invest in yourself and get your own stuff. So that's when I called up the boys, and I was like, look, let's start a little rap group, whatever. We put our money together. We got our first PC, bought our first microphone, bought our first inbox for Pro Tools, and that's how that happened. As far as Chancellor Trump, JTM Josh The Man, Fresh Start been working with me since we was in high school. He was part of the rap group we was in. But Josh the Man came to me about, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago. It don't even feel like it's been that long, but it has. I was in a studio session and his cousin George, shout out President George. He was like, man, my cousin, he rap. I want to bring him to you. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm sitting at the computer, and this dude with a cartoon shirt comes on, glasses, looking goofy as hell, and he speaks to me. I'm like, what's good? I'm really not friendly like that, so he kind of felt disrespected. And then when he got in the booth and started doing this thing, I was like, he's actually decent. He did a little gospel record, wasn't nothing crazy. So that was our first meeting. Now when he came back, he said he wanted to record, an actual hip hop song. So put the beat on, beat was jamming. His producer Keyshawn Deep at the time, shout out to Keyshawn, my brother. They wanted to do this song called Like Martin. So I was like, okay, cool. So when Josh got in the booth and he started rapping it, I kind of was like not feeling it. So I stopped him. I said, look, you don't know me, I don't know you. I said, but I don't believe you. I don't believe nothing you're saying right now. I feel like you could put more energy into it. And it's like, most people aren't for constructive criticism. But Josh, it's like Josh put that shit in the blender, blended it up and drunk it. It was like, all right, cool. So when I ran the tape back again, he turned into a totally different person. I was bobbing my head so hard out there, I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, I saw Josh was hungry. I saw the same hunger that was in me when I first started. I said, okay, cool, I can work with this cat. And Josh will tell you, I was waxing Josh across the head every chance I get. $300 for this, $400 for this, $500 for this, and he was giving it to me, giving it to me, giving it to me, giving it to me. To one point where he didn't think I overheard him. He was having a conversation, and I can't remember what happened. He said he had his last $300 in his account or something like that, and he had to pay for something. So I said, let me see how serious he is. I said, hey, Josh, I need $300 for this. He said, okay, Dyzell, I'm gonna send it to you right now. I said, stop. Don't even worry about it. You ain't gotta pay me no more. He was like, what you mean? I said, I know that's your last $300. So if you willing to invest your last $300 into what we got going on, I can invest in you. And we've been like this ever since. We just been working. Chancellor Trump is the same way. I met him through SK, shout out to SK. And she was like, he just got out of a situation. He wants to do music. So I said, okay, same thing with him. $300 for this, $400 for that. He was paying. It'll be times we have a studio session, the man will pay me for the whole session before he even get there. So once I saw the passion that he had and he wanted to go for it, I said, stop. You ain't gotta pay me no more. Just do what I tell you to do, we'll be all right. And that's kind of how I built the rapport with those two. Now, Kri8ed Media Group, Gene saved my life. He don't know he did, but he did. So I've been looking for a videographer, and I had worked with so many different ones. Some people quality I loved, some people quality not so much. It was this one cat, GFX Kid, amazing videographer. Shout out Graf, shout out Guala Mafia, all them boys. It's just that Graf got so big right when I met him. So it was like, I couldn't build with him. He was already built. He was already going. He was doing stuff for Kodak, all that. So I was like, dang. So I went to my one of my business partners, J-Rock. Shout out Chef Rock Cuisine. I was like, man, I need a videographer. He was like, I got somebody for you. So 2 weeks later, just so happened to go over to his house, and Gene was there. He was like, oh man, yeah, J-Rock told me about you. I said, okay, cool. We exchanged information, but we never called each other, nothing. It just so happened I was on Instagram scrolling, and I saw a video he had did. Didn't even know this was Gene. I just saw Kri8ed Media Group. I said, yo, man, this looks dope. I need somebody to shoot something for me. He was like, okay, cool, let's meet up. We met up, we like, bro, it's you, bro. Like, you ever seen the Spider-Man meme when we pointing at each other? Like, that's what happened. I was like, yo, and ever since then, I don't know what it is about me and Gene's brain. I guess maybe because we both Scorpios. He understands me, and I understand him. I ain't got to tell him 4 times. I ain't got to tell him 6 times. I'm like, Gene, what you think about this? Yeah, man, we should do it like that. Boom, 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 boom. And we work so well together. I mean, we shot probably a good 25, 30 music videos together collectively and for other people. But, well, I'm pretty sure Gene has shot way more than that. But with me, every time we come together, it's something magical. It's something amazing that happens on that camera. And I wouldn't trade that for the world. Like, long as I could build with him, I'm good. And I'm talking about to the point where we putting together camera rigs just to do it. Like, bro, if you get an Ari, I'm gonna put this lens on here and get that and get me and Gene just had that connection, and he understands what I'm trying to do when it comes to visuals. It ain't got to be all fancy, as long as it's clean, as long as it's clear, as long as it tell a story and it ain't looking like everything everybody else doing, I'm good with it. And you know, he helped me complete my team because I have been looking for a videographer for a very, very long time. I think I'm in debt with Gene like $300,000. I'm not gonna lie to you, as much stuff he done did for me off love. But he knows when I get blessed, I'ma bless him. Cause we always talk about what we gonna do together. Like, so that's how that happened. Who else you talk about first star, Josh? Yeah, them my guys right there. That's my core team right there. Shout out Plus Fibonacci, that's my sis. The first female rapper I ever really took under my wing, and she's growing day by day. I got a solid team. It took a long time though. Everybody meet us and think we'd have known each other 10, 20 years. Nah, it ain't been like that. I think I known Josh the longest, and me and Josh ain't even known each other 10 years yet. But I got cats that I've known for years that I don't have the rapport I have with these people.
So, all right. So we have a couple of things. Can you describe your creative process and workflow and, let's say, producing when you're walking someone through a track, and even the process of you preparing and actually laying down your own track?
Okay, so when it comes to producing, and I think any producer will tell you this, my brain can get inspiration from anything. I could be listening to an old school R&B song and be like, oh, I should sample this. And I just sit down and I go to chopping up the sample, doing whatever I want to do. Or I can hear a song in the club and be like, yo, I can make a record like this. And I literally pull my phone out with my voice recorder and start putting lyrics over what's already done. So when I get home, I'm gonna mimic that and create it. So that's how my creative process works.
In the club, that's going on.
In the middle of the club. I literally snatch the voice recorder out of the middle of the club and go crazy. Now, when it comes to walking artists through records, that's a very, very difficult process because everybody don't think of music the same. I think of music as like soup. All right, I'm gonna add my ingredients, you add your ingredients, and we're gonna stir this thing till it tastes right. Because if we taste it and it don't taste right, I mean, we gotta keep cooking. We don't wanna overcook it, we don't wanna undercook it. That's how I think about music. So when an artist brings me an idea, and they say, let's use Chancellor for example. Chancellor he don't know it, but he's a producer too. Because he'll tell me like, okay, D, I want the beat to go like this. And I'd be like, all right, so I start working on it. Okay, take that away, but I want to add this, it's missing something. So that's how he works. Josh will literally come in, hey, this is my idea. They go like this, make a beat, and close the door. He don't want no part of that process. And then you got some artists that might have a song they've already made, and they just want you to build around the things that they already have and things like that. So it depends on who the artist is, how they want to create. I got a song called Hold You Down that I produced for Matt Conscious. He literally bought me a song and said, I want something like this. So I said, okay, so I started, messing around with some things, and a young producer I work with named 305 Zay, aka Zay Prosper, shout out to Zay. He just started singing in Creole. And I was like, I said, don't you speak Spanish? He was like, yeah. I said, sing that in Spanish. He started singing what he was saying in Spanish. Creole in Spanish. I said, good. Go cut that, put that on top of here. And Matt was like, man, I said, shh, it's gonna work. Did that. So everybody did their verses and everything. I brought in my artist, True Solo, the Bahamian sensation. That boy gonna blow. Y'all remember I told y'all that. So I brought in True Solo. True Solo is one of them artists that he can get on anything. He literally can get on anything. He can rap, he can sing, he can do it in patois, he can do it however you wanted to do. And he don't write. So True Solo hit a beat, put the headphones on, and just start belting out all type of crazy stuff. And then we chop it down, and it makes sense. So put True Solo on the record, and then it was done. Everybody going crazy, but I'm like, nah, this ain't finished. So what I did was I took the record and I sent it to my partner Guillermo, who plays all my guitar stuff. I said, G, just give me like 6 or 7 different tracks. G did that. I pulled it in the Pro Tools. I listened to it. I chopped it up. And when you hear the record, people like, yo, that guitar. I said, yeah, that was the missing thing from that specific record. And that's just how I work. Like, I'm open to any creative process, but my process is not the same every time. It's never the same, to be truthfully honest with you. I start with it in my head first. That might be the same, but as far as how I get to the ending, I can't really tell you. I just be ending up at the end, be like, and you look like where you came from, you be like, dang, how I got here? It have been beats I've been making and I trash them and be like, I don't like that. And dudes be like, bro, you crazy. It ain't me. It don't give me enough. So
I know how you talked about, you know, you did these different things for people. They were paying you. And you just really built this relationship with them, and then now it's just kind of you know you guys just work together from here on out. But if you know, I'm thinking about the people that actually want to work with people. They're serious, but they don't have the money per se. I mean, what can they do? Is there anything that they can do to, you know, maybe try to prove to somebody that, hey, like, this is what I have, and you know, maybe this is what I need. Hey, what can I do to further my career? Or how can you even really get people together to work together? Like, I mean, creative minds without all the money and without having to worry about all these. I mean, does it have to do with trust? What does it have to?
Well, that's a very loaded question, but I'll try to answer it the best of my ability. When it comes to what you're interested in investing in, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. Your actions will speak for what it is you're trying to get done. If I come across an artist and he said, okay, Dyzell, how much a beat costs? And I say it costs this much. Okay, I can't afford that, all right. The next thing he should be saying to me is, but can you do a payment plan? Because if you want my services, but you know you can't afford them, find a way to afford them. Because a dude tell me he wants to be put on a payment plan, I'm like, oh, this nigga serious. All right, cool. Come in, get it done, and then you pay me one time, and I'll probably be like, don't even worry about it, bro. We good. But that's how I operate. I want to know that people that I'm creating with are going to take this and do something with it. It don't matter if it go far or not. Are you willing to do something? Because your actions dictate what the universe is going to bring back to you. If you just record music and let it sit on a computer, I have no use for you.
Oh, Jesus.
If you just recording just because you want to go perform it for your homeboys or you want to go to a couple open mics, I don't have time for you. I've been there, done that. But if you finna record, you finna go shoot a video, you gonna put some money into promoting it, you gonna go around the DJs and try and get them to play it, you wanna go out there, then I could deal with somebody that's like that. But somebody that has one-dimensional thinking, and it might not even be their fault that they're a one-dimensional thinker. I just don't have time for that. I was thinking one-dimensionally at 19, 20, and 21. Then it became 2D, then 3D, now I think 8D. I'm not expecting people to be on my level, but you have to wanna go higher. There's a couple of new artists I'm working with right now. They are thirsty, they hungry, they want to go higher. D, what I do next? Do this. Boom. What I do next? Do this. Boom. Because if you seen where I came from, I can show you the success and you still don't want to listen? Why am I bothering? I submit beats to Hit Factory Radio every week. And these dudes be on there begging artists, get in Dyzell DM. You got a producer in your backyard who ain't charging like that, who making quality stuff. Y'all work with this man. You know how many artists hit me up? Not many. Because, why? There's no reason not to. You got 2 radio DJs that got their own syndicated radio station where you're getting BDS spins, getting your music spins saying, hey, go work with this producer. Hey, go work with this engineer. Hey, they're giving you the game and you still not taking it. So, what do we want to do? Because at the end of the day, you don't need a label. You got Spotify, you got DistroKid, you got CD Baby. You can literally make a living off your music yourself. And don't take a bunch of money, just take consistent steps in ordered steps. I literally have a program that works. But I'm not gonna just give that to you. I have to see that you're ready and willing to make those steps, because these steps, it's not easy. It takes work. And dudes don't want to work. They think they make one hot song and they supposed to get signed tomorrow. That ain't how that works.
So, okay. Wow. Thank you for that.
No problem.
So, all right. So, I know you probably got this before, but you and Shaq literally have the same name.
Yes, he stole my name.
So, I don't really, I was going to say, I don't really want to get into who had the name first, but how did this name come about for you?
Well, respect to Shaq. His pocket's bigger than mine. They was just gonna end that right there. The name Dyzell came from, this is a very embarrassing story, but I give it to you. When I was in high school, I was in marching band, and my nickname in marching band was Shrek, from 9th to 10th grade to 11th. I know it's from 9th to 11th grade. So my 12th grade year, I'm a senior, man. I'm not coming to rehearsal on time. I'm doing what I want to. Leave me alone. So I came to band practice late one day, and one of the drum major candidates, Octavius Reese, he was like, "Yo, you late?" And I'm like, "Nigga, so? Like, move." He was like, "Nah, man, I need you to bust them 25 for me." I was like, 25 what? He's like, 25 push-ups. I said, "Oh, you serious? Serious?" All right, so I dropped down and I busted 25 out real fast. Guy said, "You happy now?" He was like, "Damn, Shrek Dyzell? Okay, cool." So that kind of stuck my whole 12th grade year. So when I decided to become a rapper, I dropped the Shrek and kept Dyzell. And my rap name when I first started rapping was Young Dyzell. Then when I became a DJ, dropped the Young and became DJ Dyzell. But of course, Shaq was Shaq Dyzell when he was in the NBA. And Shaq is like a big time EDM DJ. So when he started taking his DJing serious, he trademarked the name, and that's it. You couldn't get the IG handle, you couldn't get nothing. And I was like, you know what? I'm not finna fight Shaq. I'm gonna just change the way I spell my name. And that's where Dyzell came from. Because you could pronounce it Dyzell if you look at it, or you could pronounce it Dyzell. And my daddy came up with that, just playing around the house. So those of you who are wondering why I changed my name, where Dyzell come from, where Dyzell come from, why people call me Dyzell, why some people call me Dyzell, it's all the same thing. It's like saying tomato.
So, how do you stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies in the music industry?
Social media.
Okay.
That's social media.
Okay.
You want to know what's going on? Take your ass on IG, go on Twitter, go on Snap. Well, not Snapchat, but go on IG, go on Twitter, Facebook. I'm part of Beat Club. I'm part of Timberland's Beat Club, so they send you emails and stuff about what's going on. That's the only way you're gonna keep up. Listening, you gotta listen. You gotta make sure. Me being a DJ, you have to make sure you up on all the new songs that's coming out, and you listen to the production of these records, and you be like, okay. And YouTube, man, anything you want to know is on YouTube.
What are your future goals for your music career? I want to say about 5 to 10 years. You'll be where?
10 years, I should be retired. That's just my opinion. Like, I should be a multi-millionaire. I should be a multi-platinum selling producer, engineer, whatever you want to call it. And I should be on to other ventures, because people don't understand music is not supposed to be your life. It's supposed to be something you do for life, but it's supposed to open doors for you to do other things. That's why it's not just called music. It's called the music business. So the business of music is what people don't understand. Anybody can sing, anybody can rap, anybody can make a beat, but when you understand the business of these things, it can help you open doors to wherever else you want to go. I'm going to always be a musician. Music's going to always be part of my life, but I do understand that everything has a time frame and a time period. So I want my music to open doors for me to expand my other businesses and things that I want to do to higher heights, and the music can be the foundation that pushes it there. That's what I want. 10 years, like I said, I don't want to be trying to figure out what I'm doing in music in 10 years. I should be a mogul somewhere figuring out something else, building a whole nother tower. My music tower should be built already. 5 years, I want to have at least gotten a multi-million-dollar distribution deal from somebody. That's what I want to. That's what I'm working. That's my goal for the next 5 years in music. Because I'm working with a lot of dope artists. I'm building them up, building their catalog. So I want to go to a Sony or an Atlantic or a Universal and get a distribution deal to have these artists distributed under my own label. So that's what I want in the next 5 years. But in 10 years, we should be in a stack of so much bread, we don't need to make another song. It's that easy. Like when you get the appeal you want to the people, once they open the door for the people to see you and you're vigilant and you become visual, if you can't make money in the music industry, that means you should never been in it.
Do you have any advice for aspiring DJs, producers, musicians, or songwriters?
Consistency. Find somebody, find an artist, build a team, and y'all need to be consistent. Them two things are the hardest things to do. Everything else, people got talent. But to build a team and to be consistent, because no man is an ocean. You need a team. So you build a team and y'all be as consistent as possible. And eventually, it'll pay off. That's the best advice I can give you.
Okay. And what skills or traits do you think are most important for someone pursuing a career in music?
What traits? That's a good question. I think the most important trait is hard work. Meaning, you can have the talent all day, but if you don't put the work in, every day, grinding, being vigilant on what you're trying to do, you won't get nowhere. You won't get nowhere. You know how many dudes I know that can probably out-rap everybody in the industry, but they just don't want to do it? They like, I ain't really into that D, can spit off the top of their head. You know, people are locked up right now. How much talent is locked up right now? It's all about making it an everyday thing. Like I said before, consistency and hard work are the most important things. That's that. If you don't have that, you have nothing.
And how do you balance the business and creative sides of music production?
What do you mean, how do I balance the business? What do you mean by that? Explain that to me, what you mean?
I don't know how it works, but you don't want to give too much to one side versus the other. So how do you balance?
Well, I don't think you can give too much to one. I think they kind of go hand in hand. So if somebody wants something from me creatively, we got to talk about the business of me being creative. If somebody wants to talk about the business, well, then there's business that goes with talking about business. So I don't think you can do more than the other. But if I could explain it, I try to make sure I keep it level. Like, I think I get what you're saying. So if I'm just in here making beats all day and I'm not really paying attention to the business of what I need to be doing, no, it has to be a balance. You have to make sure, okay, if you made a track, okay, did you get it copywritten? Did you get it licensed? Did you make sure you protected yourself after this is completed before you start sending it out to people and letting people hear it and all that? It's a 50-50 thing. You got to make sure for every step you take with one, you take a step with the other one.
Okay.
So.
Thank you so much. Any last words?
Oh man, just remain consistent, work hard, and don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. I've had many people in my wake tell me that I was crazy, that's not realistic, those, like, you chasing a dream that'll never happen. I'm talking about people real close to me, like, real close. But I went from doing it as a hobby to taking it serious to now I do it full time. If I didn't do music, I couldn't pay bills. I couldn't live. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not knocking nobody that has a 9-to-5, but if you want to start that, if you want to do that business, start that. And it don't even got to be music. Start that business. Invest in what it is you want to do. Because if you don't, when it's all said and done, do you really want to be like, damn, I should have? Nah, I can't be that guy. I will never be that guy.
Well, that has been DJ Dyzell. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the day.
You're now watching Lena Blue TV.